Welcome to the Creative Condition podcast, an ongoing series of conversations and considerations to help people understand and embrace their own unique creativity for fulfilling lives and brilliant careers. My name is Ben Talon. I'm an illustrator and author, and I bring 16 years of creative industry experience working with the New York Times, The Guardian, the Premier League, and more. And I invite designers, artists, psychologists, scientists, coaches, athletes, sensitivity experts, and all kinds of thought leaders to help us broaden our knowledge of creativity. Creativity is a fundamental pillar of human happiness, a vital ingredient in the solutions to our problems, but so often misunderstood. The show is supported by founding sponsor and B Corp, Illustration X. Take a look at their stunning range of illustrators and animators at illustrationx.com. If you like the music for the show, it's by Dirty Freud, who you can listen to now on Spotify and all good music streaming services.
Hello and welcome back to the show, guys. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're not sick of hearing from me now. I have been pumping these episodes out with the new format of highlights, full-length episodes, and then the recap of what we've learned. But this is kind of a school now. This is becoming an educational facility. That's what I want from this thing. I'm not necessarily stumbling in the dark like in those early days when I was doing this show and just kind of meandering. There is still a degree of that, and I allow myself to be responsive and organic and meet people and decide on episodes as I go. But really what I'm trying to do now, and I've really got a clear mission, is to help you guys understand and embrace and fall in love with your creativity and really explore all corners of what that means through so many different people. So I wanted to come to you today and tell you about the latest tool that I am releasing through this creative condition model. So seeing as I have just soft launched at least, my two key coaching model formats, one being the session, which is a workshop for businesses essentially, or education outposts, colleges, universities, schools. And the session is basically a quite intense talk. So it's all about this framework of creativity. It's looking at all aspects of it, from human needs to environment to psychology to play and imagination, and a lot of misconceptions too. You know, the mistake that a lot of people make is to intertwine artistry with creativity. And while the two have a famed relationship through the arts, of course, and through our culture, really, creativity takes on myriad forms, and we need it in our day-to-day life for problem solving. We also need it to come up with the big moonshot ideas as well. So what I wanted to do was, alongside this podcast and the book and the coaching model, so there's the session and there's also the pit stop, which is a one-to-one intense work through audit of your entire creativity through this framework. For both of those coaching outposts, every person who attends will receive my Anatomy of Creativity map, which is this brand new A3 printed on recycled stock via thebrilliantprint.work. By the way, check them out. They're great printers in Leeds, doing everything on recycled stock. And therefore, that means you don't just come to a talk and leave the talk feeling like, well, that was great. I got a couple of notes, but I've forgotten most of it, which, let's be honest, a lot of us end up doing. You are then given this map, and it details all of the things that I talked about. It gives you a map with all these sections, which I'm going to look at in a minute. And under each section, there's a list of components. And on the back of the sheet, every component is described. So you can always refer back to this, and you can see the big picture of your creativity, beautifully designed between myself and my embattled wife, Laura Talon, who had to deal with my absolute brain dump, hand-drawn on a sheet of paper, and make some graphic sense of it. But it really is a powerful resource. I've been using it myself already. And the idea is that none of us, even the industry legends, people who are celebrated, top of their field, top of the game, they can kind of articulate their methods and their experiences and their feelings. But if they were to sit down and sort of lay out the map of creativity, they could probably hit some broad strokes. But how many of us in our day-to-day lives can actually tell you what's going on? I know that I can't. Not really, because when you've got a to-do list as long as your arm, and people are coming at you and you're having to respond, who has the time to sit down and really tell you the science or break it down? That's what this map is for. So you've always got something that's right there to refer back to. So I'll read you the little intro, a bit of type on it, which is called About the Duality of Everything. And it says, this is a map of the anatomy of creativity. It is informed by the many years I've spent leading my life with creativity, observing it in others, studying patterns, immersing myself in cultures and storytelling, addicted to the magic of one of humanity's greatest gifts. My hope is that this work, distilled here for ease of navigation, will help you identify, understand and explore everything that affects our ability to create at any given moment. You'll identify areas that require work and easily monitor the big picture to ensure nothing is neglected as you move forward. Self-awareness and self-acceptance are vital to create as only you can, but to embrace them we must consider all behaviours, characteristics, modifiers and needs with duality. Everything on this map is highly nuanced and flexible, in isolation or combined with other aspects of creativity. No single aspect is overtly negative or positive without context, and can be both. So that's the idea. It's the duality. It's reconsidering all the things we thought we knew about ourselves and combining them and playing with how they influence us in our minds. So that's available. I've made that. I have printed a limited run to begin with. They're available on my website for the modest price of £12.50. I wanted to make this cheap and accessible because I know that not everyone can afford the coaching, because that coaching is, it's expert level stuff that I've built over 10 years. So I'm taking it to businesses. I'm taking the pit stop to individuals for a one-off fee. Not particularly cheap, but I do think it's, one of the best things you can invest in. That's my belief in it. That's what I'm taking to market. But I wanted to also provide something that you can just grab and put on your wall and spend some time exploring yourself. And that's what this map is. It's also available with a bundle deal now with the Creative Condition book for £22. Not bad. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to create this kind of educational facility, this outpost, the Creative Condition, where you can just tune in and listen and enjoy, pick up tidbits. But you can also do some intensive work on yourself, either through my coaching models. Come and have a chat if you're interested in that. I'm doing some lower cost maiden voyages right now. I'm doing the pilots this summer to really get, fluid and good and help some people out in the process that I want to work with. But you can also get the map and the book and just spend time learning. So that's what I'm trying to do, because let's face it, we're going to need creativity to tackle the world's problems, to navigate the cultural, governmental, educational barriers that we're always waxing lyrical and complaining about. So that's what's going on. I hope you enjoy it. Do pick up your copy. So the sections, so how I've broken it down. And don't get me wrong, there's going to be a lot more than what I've put down here, but I believe that this is a great kind of, this really paints a picture of what's going on in creativity. There's process. So you've got things like seeking essence, developing, transforming, mutating, subverting, testing, restoring, rejuvenating. You've got tech and digital, so looking at efficiency, enabling, tech as an enabling tool, phobia, people's tech phobia, communication, feedback, sharing. You've got environment with things like space and scale, place, the sensory enrichment. So are you taking care of your sight, sound, scent, feel, light and shadow? If not, you could be undermining your creativity and not getting the most out of your space. Psychological safety, mapping, order, that's feng shui. Then you've got community. You've got things like learning and understanding that you get from community. You've got difference, collaboration, heightened self-belief that comes from spending time around people who value what you do. Sumak Khalse, which is good living. Beautiful kind of ecosystem of all the values there that's described. You've got myths, belief systems and gossip. Culture, trust, safety. Core, right at the heart of creativity, which is emotional creativity, intellectual creativity, connection, innovation, imagination, ideas, lived experience, and all the other good stuff that is right there at the heart and the broad strokes of creativity. You've got play, which is unconditional play, joy, relationship building that comes through play, roaming, playing out essentially. Artistic exploration, common language. Then you've got inspiration, which encapsulates the likes of the source, invisible hands. That's the feeling of being helped along the path that is right for us. Dot joining, adventure, nomadicity, travelling from A to B in the sense of adventure. Observation, dreams, resonance, body and brain, nutrition, rest, physical activity, idling, self-care. Biophilia, that's our relationship with nature, the innate need to connect with nature, which we overlook when we live in busy urban environments, and I think that's detrimental. neuroplasticity. Then you've got personality, which also brings in negativity bias. We've got to work with that, balance that fight or flight, which poisons us when we see news headlines and the likes. Group dynamic, how do we function in groups and tribes? Chaos, eccentricity, dirty energy. That's the channeling of negativity and negative emotional spectrum into something really valuable. Behaviors, self-awareness. And then last but not least, you've got modifiers, which is the big ones that affect, any of those components that I just described can be affected and modified, turned up, turned down, impacted by the likes of needs, simple needs. So I've referred you to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. That's things like shelter on the base level, clean air, water, right up to creativity and play and things like that we need, social connection. Then you've got health, finance, time, neurodiversity, jeopardy, context that can bring in cultural, critical, political, social, family, change, environment. There's so much going on this map that I really think it's going to help a lot of you. So do check it out now. It's available, bentalonwriter.com/shop with all my other wares. That's it. We'll be back next week. We've got Erin Riley, new global CEO of TBWA, one of the biggest ad agencies in the world, and this is a power episode. So look forward to that. In the meantime, have a lovely weekend, guys. Take care. Let me know what you think of the map at hello@bentalon.com. Thanks to the sponsors, illustrationx.com and the Ukrainian Institute. Music by Dirty Freud. Take care. See you in a bit.